And we're back as promised with Dierks Bentley in town for the big performance at the rodeo tonight. But how nice of you to make time to come in early in the morning. Makes for a long day for a big star.
Man, I love coming by the station. I told there's a girl back in Nashville that handles all my radio stuff, and I just said we're gonna be in Austin. Gotta come by KVET. Gotta come by Case and say hi to everybody. And so here I am.
Well, of course, you got that namesake here in town. You got Joel Burke's dog. Is there a higher? How many dogs?
I got two. My buddy Cody Canada from Cross Canadian
named his
son's name's Dierks, so
he's not a dog.
He's done three. Then I met my first canine namesake.
There's plenty.
Dogs, so.
How many dogs do you think there are named Dirk now? Dierks must be.
I've had some fans with like Bentley, but I haven't heard too many.
Really?
Dirks. Yeah.
No kidding.
That was the first time. I was driving over with Joel, and he goes, "That's Dierks," and I thought he was talking about me or something. I kind of kept petting the dog, and I was like, "What's the dog's name?" He goes, "No, his name's Dierks." It's like, "Oh, right on, man, love it."
And a big star here, maybe even a bigger star than Joel. Hey, so last week, I just want to tell you this as a way of saying what an incredible album you have out now. But last week, my daughter Amanda hitched a ride with me going somewhere. She brings your CD and she said, "Hey, do you want to listen to this?" And I said, "No," because I wanted to hear what was on KVET. She said, "No, you really ought to hear this." And I'm glad she did. Man, those tunes on there with the bluegrass, that's the Punch Brothers?
Punch Brothers, yeah. The lead singer of that band, Chris Thiele, used to be in a country band called Nickel Creek.
Yeah, sure.
They've always been kind of
that's who that is.
Lean bluegrass, yeah. He's just an incredible musician, as all those guys are. Yeah, that's a lot.
But this album is, besides just being good music, I mean, it is entertaining. I mean, it's got some depth to it. It's got some, it's got the rare thing that I don't hear much anymore. I want to play it over and over. Very good.
Thanks, man. It's one of those records you make off the grid. We just kind of removed ourselves from any worries about any criteria we had to fill, and just
trying to be commercial or
commercial. I didn't have any expectations for any award shows or I hope for some radio airplay, but really I just said, let's just make a record, let's just have fun, not worry about any of that stuff. So I've always loved that kind of music. When I moved to Nashville when I was 19, I got out there trying to find the real thing, and I didn't. I found a lot of people that were not writing their own songs. They were dressing in clothes that someone else had put them in, and they couldn't even play the guitar. They're all trying to kind of follow in Garth Brooks' wake, and it was just kind of really disheartening to me. And that's not why I moved there to try to discover great music. And so I luckily stumbled upon this place called the Station Inn. There's kids in there 19, 20 years old playing mandolins, banjos, dobros. They knew more about Haggard and Jones and Willie and Waylon than anyone over Music Row did. But they also knew all the Bill Monroe and Lester Flatt, Earl Scruggs, all the Jimmy Martin, all the great bluegrass stuff. They just knew bluegrass and country back in the 40s and 50s was much more similar type of, had a lot more in common. So these guys knew all that old music, and it's really where I got the foundation for everything that I do now. And so I wanted to make a record that kind of really incorporated those instruments, and I knew it wouldn't be a huge success commercially, but it actually did pretty well. It was nominated for a Grammy album of the year. Yeah, it was nominated for in the country category for the Grammys, the ACM Awards coming up, and for the CMA as well, for the country album of the year. That's the good news. Bad news is so was Lady Annabelle. So I'm not going to win any of those categories, but
I don't know.
It's pretty cool to be in those categories for a record that you really
it's that unique, that cool. It may.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the cover with you too on there, but the song he did with Miranda and Jamie Jonathan, that was awesome too. Did you enjoy doing that?
I'm her biggest fan as well as Jamie's. Yeah, we did a song that's actually a Susie Ragsdale, Berlin Thompson song called "Bad Angel," and the three of us did a modern day version of it. And it was just it was a blast, man. I think Miranda's vocals on there is like some of the best vocals she's ever put down.
I had a total deja vu when you were explaining the influences and the kind of music that you've encountered in Nashville. 10, 15 years ago, a guy sat in that chair, but in our old building, and said virtually the same thing. And he was relatively new in music at that time. Brad Paisley.
Oh, really?
And yeah. I mean, he's been true to his roots as well. He understands the roots, and I think that also helps me, at least, and I think a lot of us understand why of all the in all the Texas music ranks, the Kevin Fowlers and the Randy Rogers, they all hold you up as like the Nashville guy they love.
Well, I love those guys. I just saw that Kevin's playing the rodeo, and I was just looking around to watch him. I love Fowler. I learned a couple things from Kevin Fowler over the years. One is to never follow him on a show anywhere, no matter where you're playing. And I remember we played we headlined the Fall Fandango, the big thing over in Houston a couple years ago. I played it about 3 or 4 times, and finally got a chance to headline this thing. And Kevin went on before us, and And then I went on after Kevin, and right on the time we go on is when they stopped selling beer to begin with. So you already have that music struggle.
Yeah.
And then,
And a Fowler show.
yeah, it's been exactly. And people have been playing music since 12. You know, we're on here now. We're on at noon, and now we're on at 11 o'clock at night, and people were just like they're over music. So I got a call like a week later to do a show with Ragweed and Fowler, the salsa festival down in
Waco.
I think it's Waco, yeah. And I said, love to. The only criteria is I'm going in the middle. And they go, Fowler's already got that slot locked down. He's smart. He gets that middle slot. He's the one who he's like, I'll take the middle slot. People are just starting to hit their buzzes are starting to peak. And so I said, all right, I'll go first. So I went first, and Kevin and Ragweed, and it was a great show.
We call him the hardest working redneck in show business.
Yeah,
Speaking of a hard working guy, as you know, you met a few moments ago, we have a guy who's our fifth and final contestant in the KVET casting call, ready to do a little interview in here. Heath Hale.
It's a great story. I'm glad he found his shorts before we started his interview. I was a little worried he's still going to be naked. But
I had a reserve pair in the truck.
Nice, dude. You always travel with a spare. I like that.
So, first thing I have to know is, I know about your dog Dierks,
Yes.
and I know about your dog George.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have Jake and George.
That's right.
What do two dogs that live with a guy like you, what do they get to eat?
They eat Purina, the best Purina you can possibly buy at the Kroger. You know, I don't know what your Kroger is down here. Your general
H-E-B.
H-E-B, yeah,
Albertsons,
H-E-B, yeah.
Oh,
So nothing special. It's just you know, they were on some better food for a while, but out of sheer just laziness, they get the good Purina. So I think it's like Purina 1.
Well, I figured they had the first class treatment.
They should have better treatment, but
sounds like they'll be eating Purina for free now.
poor guys, yeah. A lot of times
I smell endorsement.
I got 2 kids too, so there's a lot of times they miss the meal. It's like, did you feed the? Oh, you didn't feed them? Oh man, someone's forgot to feed the dogs.
Another thing I got to know is, I know you've played with Brad Paisley. I know you've played with George. You've gone on tour with Cross Canadian and your buddy Cody Canada. All these famous artists, Miranda Lambert, Jamie Johnson. Who's your favorite to play with whenever you're not in front of thousands of people, when you're just kicking back in the studio making good tunes?
Man, when you're talking about those tours with all those guys, I just to direct that question. When you're on the road with George Strait, you feel like you're traveling with just like, it's a good feeling. You wake up every morning, you're like, I'm in the same location that George Strait is. Like, there's his bus, there's my bus. You feel like you're just in royalty. It's like
the king.
Yeah, you're with the king. I mean, no matter where you are, like I could be in whatever town, but I'm next to the king, and we're in the same town together. So it just feels like you're like in a presidential motorcade the whole time. You know, you're with the guy. It's a good feeling. But away from all that, just honestly being back in Nashville, just like I'm sure you have here in Austin, there's just certain places where there's really authentic, great music. And if I'm just kicking back in Nashville, I'm probably down there at the Station Inn, man. There's a great band called the Time Jumpers, and the meaning of that band is they jump time, and they play nothing but songs from the 50s and 60s, and just a huge, you know, twin fiddles, sometimes triple fiddles, and just great old classics, and you know, a lot of Ray Price and stuff like that. And that's what I'm probably usually kicking it when I'm just a little bit home.
Heath, good job, buddy. Dierks, thank you.
Good questions, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some potential there.
I'm pulling for Heath. I'm like, what do I vote? What do I text? What number do I text into?
You just did.
Vote for America.
Your vote is officially registered.
Do me a favor, tell my buddy AJ the Hurricane happy birthday.
AJ the Hurricane, happy birthday, buddy. Good name.
Very good.
It's like the situation of Austin, I guess.
Tonight at Rodeo Austin, it's the one and only Dierks Bentley, and that's just a little thing we say in radio, the one and the only. But you truly are a real standout. But
Thanks, man.
As pointed out in the last few moments of conversation, terrific new album and great show. Look forward to seeing you tonight.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Sorry about the rush there on the end.
That's good.
Very good. What does this mean? What does this mean?
You're the only one that has to say something. You're the